Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here with the beautiful Jessie.
Hi guys, welcome back another week.
Yeah, I was like so excited for the music launch last week that
Right?
I didn't even like introduce us. I didn't even say our names. Well, I think I said your name a little bit through.
Well, that was super exciting because that was a first for us.
I know. And it's very exciting because so many people tuned in and so many people even came up to me this weekend. Were
Really?
like, oh, I caught it. Like, I love the song, blah, 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 blah. So that was awesome too.
That makes me super happy to hear.
So tonight we have a real treat. Join us as we dive into the heart-pounding world of American mosh pits, exploring their evolution, unwritten rules, and unforgettable moments. American mosh pits are more than just chaotic energy at concerts. They are a unique expression of passion and friendship within the music scene. From hardcore punk to metal shows, these swirling circles embody both adrenaline-fueled aggression and a sense of community. Please welcome Vin from American Moshpits.
Hello.
That was a impactful and humbling intro, I must say.
She's
I
really
have to
good
say
at
it was all around swirling circles.
Oh,
I loved that. I loved that term for
it was. No, I mean, we, our goal as a company is to promote the heavy metal scene with footage from bars to festivals. We interview the bands as well as the crowd people, and we encourage our 100,000 fans to go to live events. Highly, highly encourage go to live events. And by doing that, we partnered with venues, promoters, bands, and
Let's
all
just
these.
say that the events that you go to are so hype. I mean, everyone is a little different and like it's so fun.
I like to hear that.
My son even got to be in a mosh pit.
When we announce events, we have two types of events, right? We have sponsored events that we are directly linked with the promoter of the venue or the band, and we are directly sponsoring that event. Or we just have events that we are going to be at and film. And no matter what type it is, the people show up, lots of them. I was sitting with Nick from 717 the other week at one of his events that we were at.
Nick Myers.
Nick Myers, 717entertainment.com. Check him out. And we were talking about this. And, you know, here's a story that there was an event in Strasbourg that got canceled. And people started coming to our events because they saw us talking about being at the event that Nick was at. So he gains a bunch of people showing up at the event, you know, just from the American Mosh Pit people being there because they know it's going to be a raging party, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with American Mosh Pits?
Okay, so American Mosh Pit started in 2018. Current owner, David and Lisa, are out of Arcade, New York. And they had a vision to film mosh pits and bring them to the rest of the world on the internet, right?
Genius.
So, yeah, exactly. And people thought Dave was nuts, and they're like, nobody's going to watch this. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. Well, he built up about 21,000 followers in 5 years. So my son and I, around 2021, when COVID was lifted and shows started coming back, we said, we're going to start filming these mosh pits we're going to. We're going to put them up on YouTube, and people are going to watch them. And sure enough, people were watching them, and my son and I were having a good time going to shows and putting these videos up. And we were following David and Lisa, American Mosh Pits, very closely, almost mimicking a lot what they did, right? Because they're like, these people are successful. They got good videos. And they contacted us. We contacted them to say, hey, we like what you're doing. And we ended up having a face-to-face at Incarceration on the Hill of Friday of 2023. And we all sat on the hill together and we said, we could make a movement here. We could make a company and a movement that takes heavy metal and takes mosh pits and takes all the stigma
Thank you,
that are
Danny
in this.
Wimmer, for
Da-
having a
Danny-
festival that brought them together.
Exactly. Danny Wimmer, please listen to this story and look up American Mosh Pits. So we all sat together on a hill and we decided to make one big company. We now have 2 traveling teams. We have a team out of New York and my team's out of Delaware. So we'll cover everything basically from Ohio and Michigan all the way to Florida almost. And yeah, we travel a lot of miles, a lot of weekends. I have 5 people on my Delaware team, and then we have 2 people on the New York team.
So since you've been to so many mosh pits,
Yes.
how would you say that mosh pits have evolved since you got involved with American mosh pits?
Let's go backwards a little bit. So I am going to share something. I'm 44 years old.
Mhm.
I started moshing in October of '94 at Marilyn Manson and 9 Inch Nails in Philadelphia. Yeah, it was the or it was the Downward Spiral tour, the one that made the Woodstock stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was my first experience. I'm 14 years old with my sister and her boyfriend. They're older, and they're like, "Let's go down there in the pit." I'm like, "Yeah," and we run down there, and we're getting thrown around, and people are fighting. And it's like, "This is amazing! Oh, I love this." So over the years, I've always been on that side, having fun with the crowd, right? So when me and my son said we're going to start filming this, and then we met David and Lisa, and we had the opportunity to go to the other side of the barrier, everything kind of changes. Like you said, you look at things differently, right? You're no longer just looking at it as a fan, but what do I see that's involved? And we talked, me and the guys at American Moshpits, we talked about this. When I started going to shows at 14, 15, 16 years old, a big crowd was 200 people. And now we're going to festivals where it's 80,000.
Yeah.
So the idea of I can go to this event, I can enjoy this violent music, I can enjoy dancing and swinging around and get my shit out per se, and then walk away with tons of new friends who understand why I have, enjoy this. And it's amazing because that's not how it was back in the day. And back in the day, it was this small underground movement. It was people didn't talk about it. There was no social media. You're getting flyers on street corners and all types of stuff like that. And to see thousands and thousands of people at this now, that's amazing. Absolutely.
That's very cool.
Now, do you guys try to stick more with heavy metal? Because I've seen you at punk fueled shows.
Are you going to the D beat shows and the hardcore shows, or are you just going to the metal shows?
We go to anything that potentially there will be a mosh pit. We will go to a new metal. We will go to a hardcore. We will go to a punk show. We'll go to an alternative rock show. If people are going to push around, it doesn't matter. If the type of music and the type of crowd is going to bring some energy, we'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun.
Yeah, and it gives us some more variety of things to see. Let's just say you're just gonna cover hardcore, right?
Yeah.
After about 2 or 3 years of that, are you really gonna see something that's new? I don't know. It's
I don't know. The hardcore boys are always the ones that are. Oh, I'm always like, this is like. I will go to metal shows and I'll be like,
yeah,
oh yeah, this is really cool. And then I'll go to a hardcore show and I'll be like, I'm in danger.
Those
are the ones.
I'm 44 now. I'm not 20. And I will agree that some of the hardcore shows, I do a lot more filming than I do pit rallying like I do at some of the push pit shows. I just, I want to go to the next show and be able to see and not have my eyes stitched together. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm getting a shirt made that says I survived an American mosh pit.
I think we should absolutely run with that. I see a market for that.
I didn't even realize that I was
do a collaboration.
It had broke out. Like,
oh yeah,
I was
absolutely.
my life, and all of a sudden I had a body come at me sideways, and I'm like, and then the ref. I love if you've never been to an American mosh pit sponsored show. It's great. They set up tape. They have like a
Yeah.
legit referee.
Props. We bring props. We bring set the tables. Bring the props. We MC a lot. You were there when we were MCing in Philadelphia. That's new for 2024. Started in January, February. One of the promoters said, "Hey, you want to get up stage and be the MC?" We were like, "Sure, why not? Let's try it out." And it's been a great addition. We give out a lot of free tickets. We call it the American Moshpit Free Ticket Express. Not sure if anybody's seen that yet on our social, but we kind of every event that we're starting to sponsor with and participate with, we're trying to get at least 2 tickets to give away. So right now, when I get off this, I will be drawing the winner of 2 tickets to Brewstock 2024 down in North Carolina. So that'll be interesting. And then we will be.
My heart hurts that I'm not going to that.
I'm surprised you're not going to be there. So Brewstock is marketed as the musicians festival, right? All the musicians that go. Yeah. So if all the musicians are telling me this is the musicians festival and we love this festival, I gotta be there. Gotta check it out. Gotta see what the hype is.
And just for all of our fans and listeners, Strange Culture, who are just the best. They actually won the Battle of the Bands, and they are playing at Brewstock, and it's coming up.
And they have a good time slot. They're not like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're like an afternoon time slot. People will be there. People have been hanging out for a while. So it's gonna come up. It's July. I'll tell you. I'm counting here. July 26th and 27th is Brewstock. 26th is their pre-party. Their headliner is Sugar, which is the big System of a Down cover band. And I know that out of Virginia, Gone Cold is going to be there on Friday. And then Saturday is obviously the big day. All the bands will be there. Traverse the Abyss, Nailbite, you said Strange Culture, Cultist Black, and headliner is...
I think Magdalene.
Yeah, and headliner is Psycho Stick. So we will be there. American Moshpits is all access. We will have band interviews. We'll be backstage. We'll be in the green room. We'll be out in the pits. If there's any tailgate parties, we're going to cover those. So
let's tell everybody what is the best technique. Because you always have the swingers, or you have like the elbow droppers, or like there's so many techniques to the mosh pit.
I'm ready to break this down, right? So you need to first say you have 2 pits, right? You have a push pit and you have a hardcore pit, right? Those are your 2 main types of pits. So in the push pit, I feel like the best technique that you can do is do not go down. Just do whatever you got to do to stay on your feet, okay? Hardcore pit, as you were just explaining, people are going to be swinging and they're going to be punching, right? So what's the best technique? Guard your face, because people are going to be flying in that direction. So put your hands up in front of your face and you ain't going to bleed.
I almost wonder about like the people that dress up in the inflatables and all that. Like, are they really like ahead of the game in protecting themselves to go into the mosh pit?
So we meet a lot of characters as we go out, and as we do our crowd interviews. If you take the time to dress up as a character, we will more than likely crowd interview you. And here's what I see. We go to Christmas Burns Red every year up in Lancaster, right? That's 2 days in December. The people dressed up, it's great because it's 20 degrees outside. So when they're inside and they're sweating, they go outside, it's good. You go to like an incarceration and they're dressed up. You don't want to be near them in the pit because it is nasty. All right. They are like a sloppy towel that just got out of the bathroom and you were like, get this thing off of me. So cute, but it is disgusting when it's 100 degrees outside.
I actually, they have ones that have like fans in them now.
Please invest, people. If you are going to be a character at a summer festival, you are going to need some ventilation. That is for sure.
What are some of the first characters that come to mind?
For us, I can go back to the first character I met as an American mosh pit person was in November in Strasbourg at a Traverse the Abyss event, and they had this guy in a mask, and I can't remember his name, but he was just wild. He's like this lizard dude, and he just ran around. He's jumping around like a lizard. I was like, this guy is awesome. So that was good. Jesus, I met Jesus at a Day to Remember in Baltimore, and I got to dance around Jesus. So Jesus is a Day to Remember fan, folks. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. At Sonic Temple this year, I saw Long Island Iced Tea. That was interesting. Never saw that before.
That's fun.
Pit Demon, I know you're out there. He's amazing if you check him out. I'm going to say Roxo the Pit Clown. If you don't know Roxo the Pit Clown, check out Roxo the Pit Clown. He's amazing. He's out of Michigan. He is the best pit character probably out there. Roxo, love you, buddy. There you go.
I heard through the grapevine
In Philly,
that
we
Michigan is really hype.
Chicken.
So us and Roxo are very good friends. Roxo is not only a pit performer, we'll call him, but he is also a promoter. He has a huge event going on in October up in Michigan called Carnival, and he did a great job putting it together all on his own, no help, just literally one guy with a vision of putting together a local heavy metal festival. And he hooked up with a haunt that's up there. So if you go up to this thing, you're going to get this 10-band festival, and you get to go in a haunted house. All in one.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can't beat that, you know. So check out Roxo the Pit Clown and check out Carnival.
I heard that the Michigan shows, like,
so
they're pretty hype.
We are co-sponsor of Michigan Metal Fest this year. That would be August 24th. Well, I'll check that. August 24th. Your headliner is Mushroom Head, and you have Head PE and Gideon, who we're very excited to see. If you never saw, we did a Conversations with Vin with Gideon from Atlantic City back in March, and that is on our social. If you want to learn some cool stuff about Gideon, check that out. But yes, there is a full line of about 26 bands out there. Locally, Nailbite made the cut, so we will be supporting them out there. But we are a big sponsor of that. Same thing, tailgate footage, backstage. We're interviewing bands. We'll be in the pits. We gave away about 20 or 30 tickets around here, and we gave away vets. If you are a vet or active duty and you would like to go to Michigan Metal Fest for free, you can log on to Michigan Metal Fest. They have a little spot. You can click on that, and he will send you 2 tickets if you are a vet or you're active duty to come to Michigan Metal Fest. You can't beat that. And while we're on vets, can I mention Save22.vet? They are a great organization supporting preventing veteran suicide. They go out on the ground, they talk to the guys at events, and they help keep our troops knowing that they're important to us. If they don't feel important themselves, at least they know they are important to us for what they did. So keep an eye on those guys. So yeah, Michigan Metal Fest will be rocking this year, and we have full company. All 8 employees are going to be there. So we are going to make sure the pits are wild. Absolutely.
So who are you looking forward to? Like, who haven't you got to see?
Or interviewed, or what do you mean in that aspect?
That you are just looking forward, like, I guess to interview or to see.
Okay. I'm very excited to interview. I'm going to say off the bat, I'm excited to interview Cultist Black again. Why? Because they are a very cool band, and I got to sit down with them at Love Drafts back in April, and they've had major things go on with their band and make big moves. So I'm excited to sit down and interview them again. Who am I excited to see? I'm excited to see Gideon on a festival stage. I saw Gideon at Incarceration 23, and that was one of the best sets of the whole festival. Sonic Temple, they played Friday. We have their full set up. I wasn't there. I didn't play until Saturday, but they saw them at Friday again. It was wild. So I think Gideon is going to bring the Alabama heat to Michigan. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Has anyone been to a Gideon show here?
No, I'm going to see them at Reverb.
Summer Slaughter.
Yeah, they're going to be playing with Jose's band, After the Fallen.
Okay. We will be with Gideon Sunday at the Baltimore Soundstage. So that's going to be a fun
I
time.
like the soundstage. I just went to Maryland Death Fest.
Oh, did you enjoy that?
Oh, it was sick. It was the best $1 million I've ever spent on a festival. It was, yeah.
Let me ask you something. That was the new location, right? Because it used to be across town. Did you go to the old location before?
No, but everybody, I'm pretty sure. Are you sure that's the new location? Because wasn't it always in Ram's Head and Soundstage?
They had one other spot, and I don't know if it was last year or the year before they moved, but I haven't been to. So that's why I was just wondering how it compared. But I could be wrong. They might not have moved it, but I'm pretty sure they moved it about 2 years ago.
They like shut down all of the harbor, and
Yeah.
so yeah, they shut down all of the harbor, and then it depends. Like with MDF, like they have the two big venues on each side, like power plant and like whatever. So each side has whatever, and then they block down the whole street. So then the other two venues are in the street, and they're Ram's Head and Soundstage. Now I've been to Soundstage just for regular shows, but like going for MDF was sick. It was crazy. A lot of like, it was crazy. People fly out from all over the world. Like you see like a shit ton of people from like all over just come for it. It's a huge.
How are the mosh pits?
Oh, insane.
They have good ones. Really good. Really good down there.
Really good ones, really good time. The energy is incredible. I love death metal I love death metal. I love all kinds of metal, but I would definitely say that death metal is what brought me and all my friends together in middle school, and we still tried it true, But
Are you an Obituary fan?
I'm a huge Obituary fan. I've seen them maybe like 4 times. If you isolate them vocals, but I love Obituary. You know what I'm talking about. I love Obituary. A great Florida death metal band, one of the OGs.
I'm gonna bond with you here. You ready? In 1986.
Mm-hmm.
I bought my first 3 metal tapes from Sam Goody, and Obituary was one of them. How about that?
You could get a pretty penny for that. Those death.
I think I probably paid like $7 or $8. It was the 80s, but whatever. It was Misfits, Walk Among Us, the Obituary album, and Metallica, Kill 'Em All were my first 3 tapes I bought with my own money. There you go.
That's awesome.
Great choices.
I probably listened to that Misfits album until the tape blew apart in pieces. I'll tell you that.
That's awesome.
And then I just got to see the Misfits at Sonic Temple. You wanted to talk about bands I'm excited to see? I was stoked the moment they announced that the original lineup of the Misfits was going to be at Sonic Temple. And I was like, come hell or high water, I am going to be at Sonic Temple. And I was, and we got the full performance up on American Moshpits on our YouTube. But I was able to sit back and just absorb all these songs that I've been singing for literally like 40 years of my life, And
it was really cool. For Jesse's birthday, we got Jerry Only's son, who he has some songs, and he actually played with the Misfits when his uncle Doyle was out.
Yeah,
I mean, like that was a moment for us.
Yeah, I saw Danzig for my birthday too last year.
That's great. Danzig, you said?
Yeah, he sounded amazing.
I'm shocked because I'll see some of these older bands. Like I'll give some examples. Last year I saw Mudvayne, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as like Misfits was spot on. I was right back in the 80s when I saw the Misfits at Sonic Temple.
I think for bands that I was like, oh my god, they still got it. I saw Merciful Fate, I saw King Diamond do all the Merciful Fate songs, and that was like, we were all like crying practically, like, and King Diamond's like, I'm singing these songs from 40 years ago, and you guys want to hear them, I guess. Like, so he's like going, come to the Sabbath.
People loved it, right? Everybody just sang along and they loved it, right?
Yeah, it was insane. It was like, it was also like the night that, like, since everybody came out for it, it was like, if you're not trying to run into somebody, you're running into them tonight.
So let me ask you a question. You said that was a summer night that you went and saw that show?
The Danzig one or the
second one?
The Merciful Fate?
Yep.
No, I saw Merciful Fate. I think it was in November. I bought the tickets. I know I bought the tickets when I was outside because in like September, because I was sitting at a picnic bench with my friend. I was having lunch with my friend. And I was like, no offense, but I'm going to need you to shut up for about 5 minutes. I'm waiting in queue, and I'm going to jump off a bridge if I don't get these tickets. I need to see King Diamond. He's the king.
You don't know how many more opportunities you're going to have, so you got to jump on it. You got to.
The king can sing, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, it was 2 years ago, I think maybe, we saw Rob Zombie was somewhere with something we saw. 53 years old or 52 years old. Nailed it. My man. And you know what? I'll tell you this, right? I've seen older artists. Mm-hmm. And if you are in shape and you have taken care of yourself, Rob Zombie's a vegan, he takes care of himself, he still gets out there and belts out the songs just like he did years ago. If you are not in shape, if you are not taking care of yourself, you are not going to get up there 30 years later and be rocking it out. I got news for you guys. So if you're going to be a comeback band and you go on tour, take care of yourself first and then go ahead and book that tour.
Make sure you got that energy.
Yeah, you need the energy and you got to be able to do it. If you pounded cheeseburgers and Bud Lights, you ain't going to get it done. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And you switched out that hat. That was like, I didn't even see that hat go on. Let's show it off. Traverse the Abyss. Eric.
So we are very excited. I'm working on a big project with Eric. I can't say anything about it yet, but him and I are working on something big. So Beyond the Barrier is part of that as well. So look for something coming out maybe in the fall, end of the fall, beginning of the winter. We're excited because Brewstock, Traverse the Abyss will be down there, and we're going to be able to support them. We have some.
They have that new bucket hat.
They have the new bucket hat, and Nail Bite, Traverse the Abyss. We're gonna work with them, and we're gonna maybe do something real special.
Because I thought they were gonna be at the Nail Bite show this weekend.
Okay.
So
and then who? Us or them?
My bucket hat. I even did my TikTok saying that I couldn't wait to see them, and I get there.
Virginia.
They were playing with them. I was like, what? No,
they were in the whole.
Every 2 weeks.
4 hours south of you in Virginia. Which they have a good show down there. If you see any clips from whatever fest that was in Winchester, Virginia, Traverse the Abyss, they're really good.
That is a band that they could be performing for thousands of people, or they could be performing for 5 people, and they are still going to put on that show as if it was sold out.
So here's what I say.
Love it.
I met Eric and the guys in November of last year. And I shot a conversations with Ben with them, and then we stayed for the show. And that was my first. David, the owner of the company, had shot them before at festival. This was the first time me personally had met Eric and saw the band.
They are so nice.
Blown away. I said, these guys here, like you said, why are they here at this 200-person club? Why aren't they at a stadium with 30,000 people? Because these guys are amazing. So I've done everything I could to help them get to places and get to farther down the road, because I feel like you're going to see Traverse the Abyss opening for some big bands, big venues, and then they're going to be the band that other bands are.
I mean, and I see them like every 2 weeks, basically, because they're on some bill. Honestly, they can literally make it work with like anyone, which I love that.
So think about this. When you and I saw them at Sweeney's in Philadelphia, right? They were minus a band member, and played a bunch of beat tracks that weren't even that well rehearsed.
But they went back to Ghost. I was really happy about that.
Did you
I had thrown it out there when he was on. I was like,
right. And did you see anything but a flawless performance? Totally flawless performance, right? And there you go. Beat tracks minus a band member, and they put out a flawless performance. That tells you the caliber that they are. I'm disappointed because I was pushing really hard for them to win the shot to whack in, and then their freaking van broke down on the way to the finals. And it was like so heartbreaking. I even volunteered. I said, I will come up.
But they needed the broken down van story in order to just feed into the whole rock star vibe. I mean, like, it happens to the best of them.
I had two minivans because we were in the club, right? And I'm emceeing, and we're like, where's Traverse this? And I'm kind of getting fed information by Eric on my phone. I'm like, this is not looking good, you know?
Not a rock star unless your bus is broken down.
So we got to the point where I felt like it was like the time that we had to make a decision, right? And so I was like, Eric, I got two minivans here, ready to go. I'll pay for the gas. I was like, let me just ship them up to you, leave somebody with the van, and everybody else come. And they're like, we can't do it. But I tried everything I could to get them there. But I understand they was in a tight position. So, but they'll be there. They'll get there.
So we have to hear about some of the different mosh pits that's
okay.
So
I'm ready.
Okay, wildest and most out of control mosh pit.
I'm gonna say one of the wildest, most out of control mosh pits I've ever seen was Knocked Loose, Philadelphia, Franklin Music Hall on June the 3rd. So on June, what's that?
The last
yeah. Were you there?
No, I saw them. I went to the show at Reverb for the Tearing the Fabric of Life tour, and with Kubla Khan and Movements. And it was probably the worst crowd killing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was insane. It was fun. It was like cool. Like, it was a good time. But like, yeah, people got knocked out. Like, people, it was pretty crazy. I was like, nobody goes.
So check it out. When we were all at Sweeney's on the 1st, when Nailbite did the $100 challenge, I sprained my ankle, level 3. It was just about broken. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, 2 days later, I got to go to Knock Loose, right? I got this.
Oh, man.
I can barely walk, right? I'm at the cane. So I sat in the ADA upper deck seating, right, for Knock Loose because I couldn't get on the floor. I was like, this is not going to work. I've been going to the Franklin Music Hall since it was called the Electric Factory. I ever started going there in 1994.
I remember.
I'm second generation. My father started going to the Electric Factory in the 60s. He saw quite a few bands there. But anyway, so all these years I've been going. This is the first time in my life I'm not on the floor for a show. Okay, so I'm kind of bummed, but I'm like, all right. When Knock Loose comes on and curtain drops, and I'm right here on the rail looking down the crowd, what I witnessed with the movement and the pits and just there was no pit wall. The whole floor was a pit from the door to the door. And just to sit back and watch that was just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. In the 30 years I was doing this, that was probably one of the most mind-blowing experiences I ever had, was to be on the second level and watch that.
They said that they want their shows to feel like you're afraid. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I support that. They said they want you to feel like you're in danger. Like,
well, this is funny.
I felt like I was in danger when I last Knocked Loose, so I agree.
I had a 4-person team with me, myself and 3 cameramen that went into Knock Loose, right? So 2 guys I sent down on the floor, and one other guy was up with me on the second floor, right? Mm-hmm. So I told the guys on the floor, I said, listen, guys, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to watch. I said, because right now, Knock Loose is extremely trendy, right? It is cool to be seen wearing a Knock Loose shirt. It's cool to be seeing a Knock Loose show. And I said, this is a sold out 6,000 person show. I said, there's going to be a lot of people here that have no effing idea what's going to happen when Knock Loose hits that show. They're just here to get selfies of himself and the crowd, right? To put on social media. So after the show, we all meet back at the van in a parking lot. And one of the camera guys, he looks at me, he says, you nailed it. He said, I got video like 3 or 4 girls just crying because he said they was like, hold up the phone, and then they came on, and then the girls just crying, get me out of here. I was like, see, I told you. They had no idea.
That's yeah. Also, there's always like some dude who's like, there'll be like a bunch of girls huddled together, like,
oh yeah.
And then there'll be a dude who thinks it's a great idea to then stage dive on said nest of girls, and they all like scatter like sea louse. I've seen like guys just hit the floor. I'm like, dude, I don't know why you thought that was a good idea.
I want to bring up another recent show that was the only time in my life I've had to evacuate somebody out of a pit. Okay.
Okay.
So this is Incarceration 23. Sunday, Guar hits the stage, right? So when Guar hit the stage, have you guys been to a Guar show? I'm pretty sure you have at this point. When Guar hits the stage, the crowd surge is just absolutely insane. So you got 40,000, 50,000 people crowd surge like that. So me and my son and my other cameraman, we wanted to get right up front because we wanted to get camera shots of getting sprayed, you know, all that good stuff. So we're like, I would say like the first 5 to 6 row area, center stage. It's going crazy. There's blood going everywhere. People are going nuts. There's this lady, and she's got 2 girls with her. And I would say the lady was probably 30s, and the 2 girls, I don't know, 10, 14, maybe at the most. The one girl is crying, and she's looking at me. I said, do you want to get out of here? And she said, yes. So I said, listen, honey, the only way you're getting out is going up. So I'm going to throw your ass in the air, and you're going to go up front, and you'll be fine. So we throw her up. Boom. And the other girl's like, get me out of here, too. So we said, all right, we get her out. And that was crazy because I didn't think it was that crazy. But then when I go back and look at the footage, I was like, wow, that was fucking nuts in there. That was wild. No wonder them people want to get out of there. So that was pretty wild. Guar was pretty wild. Incarceration, you want to go to some wild pits, go to Incarceration, but God bless you because it is hot. It is like moshing in hell is the only way I can explain it.
So I know with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I forget the name of the band that played that, but you guys had like the pool noodles, and that was so fun.
So we had Green Jelly. Was that Green Jelly you were talking about? We just did that with Nick at Love Drafts. There was pool noodles.
I know, I missed it. It was so good, wasn't it?
Blow up bats. We had blow up bats. We had pool noodles. No. Listen, that guy from Green Jelly, Uncle, what the hell's his name? Uncle Bill. So Uncle Bill comes on stage. This is the first 5 seconds of the show. Let me mind. He says, I'm going to take off my pants. And my man just takes his pants off. And then he's like, he's going to do this show in my underwear. And that's what he did for the next hour and a half. My man performed in his whitey tighties and combat boots. And there's dudes wearing his cargo shorts on their head. And I'm like, well, that dude's got crabs. What are you doing?
You know what? I feel like everyone and their mother knows that Piggy Song, though.
And
like,
it was
you can say it to any age group, like everybody knows of the song. So if he wants to perform without
everybody knew the Piggy Song. And then there was another song that they sang. I can't remember which one it was. Everybody knew that song. But did you know, you ready? Did you know Nick Myers was on stage that night playing guitar?
I did, only because I had talked to him about I wanted to go so bad, but unfortunately my son wasn't feeling good, so
I take care of the kids.
Yeah, so I couldn't get there, but man, I was like online, like every pic he put up, I'm like.
So you have three opportunities coming up where 717 and American Moshpits are partnered up at Love Drafts. You have, let me just make sure I don't screw these dates up. Nick will kick my ass. All right. Number one, this is breaking news on the Pretty Little podcast because we have not announced this yet. I'm going to announce this in a day or two. I know, right? Hot take right here. Hot take. So August 11th, we will be with Nick to see King 810 at Love Drafts. We will be giving away 2 tickets to King 810. So make sure stay on our socials because we're going to put that up soon and you can have a chance to win 2 tickets to King 810.
All of our viewers, go follow them because
all you got to do is we put up a post.
Prizes and also
it's so easy.
All the shows.
It's so easy. We put up a post. It says the American Moshpits Free Ticket Express. And all you have to do is comment on it. You comment on it, and then in a day or two, we pick a winner off there. It's that easy. And then we got me and Nikki Boy will be together for the big one on Friday, September the 6th, Silverstein at Love Drafts, which, by the way, is half the tickets are gone. So if you want to see Silverstein at Love Drafts, you better buy your tickets soon. That is Friday, September 6th. That is going to be massive. You talk about good pits, that is going to be wild. Then our final stop for the year will be November 1st, Miss Mayi. And that will.
Oh my God, everybody's talking about that. Okay, what's that date?
Miss Mayi over 50% sold out.
What's the date for that one?
November 1, Halloween party of another color. So it's a Friday night. It's the night after Halloween.
See, because I only get so many nights out because Lilac, I think, is playing in November also for Nick.
You got to go. You got to go. And you got to come up to Love Drafts on November 1st and join us for Miss Mayi. That's going to be, and Traders. Traders is opening for Miss Mayi, folks. And if you ain't never been to a Traders show, a Trader show will blow your mind. And you talk about fisticuffs, they will go wild. Crowd kill, punch kick. It will be wild time with Traders. So that is our Love Drafts calendar of events. And Nick and I are big partners, and we're working on bigger things for 2025. So the partnership will not end anytime soon.
Nice.
Yes.
Love Drafts is so fun. It's just a great venue. Every time I go there, I have the best time, and it's just really great energy.
I will agree.
You can be literally anywhere in there and see the stage. That's like a great plus for me.
So you think about it, right? You take a Love Drafts. Love Drafts capacity, I think it's like 650. So you bring in a Miss Mayi, you bring in a Silverstein. He's got New Year's Day coming there too, by the way. You bring in these
playing with Lilac. That's the Lilac show.
I'm thinking about coming up there for that. I got to make sure I can, but I like New Year's Day.
Lilac's one of my favorites.
I've never heard them, so I'm going to check them out. But New Year's Day, awesome. I was eating ice cream in the pit at New Year's Day at Sonic Temple. You can see that on American Moshpits. But when he announces these shows and you only got 650 tickets, it sells out quick. So you got an intimate experience, right? You get to see these big bands and you get to be up close with them. And that's something you don't get at a lot of places. So that's where I think Mick nailed it with partnering with Love Drafts because you just get such an intimate experience with the artist.
And I like with Nick's shows, it's never just like it's usually like a whole, I want to say mini festival, because now they get mad at me if I say festival and it's not a festival. But let's say his little mini fest, like I just love it.
So this is so funny. I'm going to tell a story about Nick here. So, I'll call and we'll be texting. I'll be like, all right, Nick, what time do we need to get up there and have a production meeting or whatever for the show? And, he'll send me the thing and it'll say doors open at 4:30 and the main band's at 10. I'm like, Nick, how many bands do we have tonight? And like you said, it'll be 6 or 8 bands, man. Come on. So I give him credit. Every time I go there, I'm seeing somebody I've never even heard of, and I'm usually walking away after seeing his group of bands. I'm
Looking
usually
them up on your
walking
phone,
away with
adding them
one
to
of
your
them.
playlist.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm walking away with the contact information when I'm saying, you guys are really good. I want to interview you. I want to see more of you. So he nails it every time. When we were just up there for the Green Jelly, he had some amazing openers. Mantra, they were amazing.
That's who I really wanted to see. That's who
You missed it.
I told him. I was like, I'm kind of sad about that.
Missed it. She was amazing. I hate to say it, absolutely amazing. She was amazing.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that they're incredible.
So that covers our 717 partnerships. And really, we also have a partnership with the Dark Star Collective out of Baltimore. They're starting to put on some bigger shows. So we're happy, like for you with hardcore.
I don't really what.
We were just on June 15th. They did a show at the Power Plant, and the man's name is Orlando that owns it. They are the promotion company, and the ticket he put together on June 15th. The headliner was Sanctuaries out of Baltimore, and you had opening for them Fight From Within, Who They Fear, and then they had a couple other bands, but definitely Fight From Within and Who They Fear put on amazing performances that night.
Nice.
So check them out. Check out the Dark Star Collective. They have good hardcore shows in Baltimore.
Sorry, I gotta write it all down, or I'll.
Orlando Jones. Write that name down. Orlando Jones.
Awesome.
Just too many plugs. Am I over plugging?
No. We like to overplug. We tell
Beautiful,
people, like,
beautiful.
Watch Overwatch. Sell yourself. Sell whatever you're.
Well, while we're plugging, I'm going to plug this. American Moshpits. We are currently at 99,600 followers on Facebook, and we got something special we're planning for the 100,000. So keep an eye out. If you don't know anybody that is not liking us, make sure to like us, because the sooner we get there, the sooner we'll be able to release what we got going there.
It's such a great way for people to kind of get introduced to different bands, and
we do a lot.
Take part in it, even if they can't be there, they can still connect with you, and you're like, you guys are so on top of comments and getting back to people and just being interactive. It really is great, because I know how much time that takes. I mean, like,
I'll let you guys in. I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes after shows, we enjoy going on the Messenger and interacting with fans who are interacting at 2:00 in the morning. Some of them we question their sobriety and we can barely read the messages, but we interact with them anyway. So if you're ever bored in the middle of the night and it's a night you see the show,
it's okay, bands. We all blame it on the talk to
chat. But send some messages in, because you never know. We start interacting with people all the time. We have some of the best interactions with fans in the middle of the night. I'll give you an example. I was just one night I was coming off the show, and this guy from Texas was sending in some clips to be reviewed for fan submission, and he was expecting somebody to look at him in the morning. So all of a sudden I'm interacting with him. All of a sudden I got him hooked up with a band that's coming to Texas and is doing a tour, and he's all excited. So you never know. And we've sent people merch before. So we love you, the fans. Without you guys, we'd be nothing. So that's why crowd interviews, if you see us and you want a crowd interview, you just grab the American Moshpit team member shirts, grab somebody in them and say, I want a crowd interview. We'll have a cameraman over to you, lick it split.
Look at you got another hat on. What's that, number 3?
Norma Jean. I want to support some more Southern hardcore.
Yeah,
I would like to see
Norma Jean.
Yes, I would like to see Norma Jean at more festivals. So if we could all get on the We Love Norma Jean train, and we need to see them at more festivals. I would like to see them at Christmas Burns Red again. I know they were there 2 years ago. It'd be nice to.
We could harass them.
They're a band that I definitely like.
You've never seen Norma Jean?
No, I haven't.
You haven't either?
No, I haven't either. They like, I feel like they were so popular, and I definitely want to see them have like a big comeback for sure. Like,
So it's funny you say that, right? Because this May they went out on tour and they were opening for POD.
oh,
And
okay.
I was like, this is backwards.
Yeah.
They should have POD opening for Norma Jean, right? I mean, that makes more sense. But
I would love to see them on the tour with like Whitechapel, you
And
know,
those
or something
bands-
like that, like something of the same.
you
like,
know who I saw them with? When I saw them on tour, it was a club tour, and this goes back to 23, and I think it was February 23. And they had Fire from the Gods with them, which are pretty good. I like them. And I think they had the Oxymorons with them too, which I think they're really good. If you ain't seen the Oxymorons, I'd recommend check them out.
Okay.
And that was a good little lineup. That would put it together. It progressed, really good. It started and then built up, and right, Norma Jean got it rocking. But I haven't seen them since. I've seen them advertised here and there, but yeah, like you said, no headliner tour, no festival stops, no nothing.
Yeah, I would
Norma
like.
Jean, come back.
I feel like
We need you.
and like I would love if you put Norma Jean with a bunch of bands that were similar at the same time. I feel like I'd be more inclined to come out. If you put Norma Jean on like it's like a mixed genre bill. I love a mixed bill, but like a Whitechapel, Norma Jean, maybe like
Have you seen Whitechapel?
I saw Whitechapel a million years ago.
I'm with you. I saw Whitechapel at Ozfest back in the day, and then I got to see them again at a later festival, not few years. I think it was a year or two ago. And Whitechapel has not changed.
Yeah.
Whitechapel is the same energy, the same music, the same mosh pit. They bring it. So if you go to a Whitechapel show, you are going to get the same thing you got back in the day.
I feel like the band that changed changed in the absolute best way from that era. Job for a Cowboy's new album, I cannot recommend that more than it is.
Who was that?
Job for a Cowboy.
Yes.
Their new album is insane. It is like they went from deathcore, I loved, I'm not a deathcore girly. I just I'm not. My hometown, it was very much like it was like we ride die death metal.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Job for a Cowboy. I love their older stuff. That came out when I was in like middle school.
Wait, time out. Are you going to Furnace Fest?
No. Are they playing?
I'm just thinking your love of death metal. I just think you would be there.
I am trying to get some bread together to actually buy the pre-sale for MDF for next year. I wanted the one metal fest I really wanted to go to that I don't think is a thing anymore is the one with the pool in Las Vegas. What was that called? Psycho Fest.
Yeah, I don't think that's there anymore.
I don't think it is either. I think it got replaced, but it was like out of control. Like all these great bands played that were like.
Wait, time out. Do you guys have Christmas Burns red tickets yet?
Oh no, that everybody loves going to that.
I would highly. This year is Christmas Burns Red 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. So this will be my third Christmas Burns Red, right? The past couple years, in July, late July, they said, here's the dates. And then they released the schedule of bands maybe like a month and a half later. They've already released the dates, and they've already released 3 bands. So I'm telling you right now, the rest of that schedule that's going to follow is going to be banger, and it's going to be sold out. I feel like
this year is the year that they are just.
This is 5. This is Christmas Burns Red 5, and they are going to bring it. So if you've never been to a Christmas Burns Red, it is one of the wildest parties. They have it at the Lancaster Convention Center. It holds, I think they sell 5,000 tickets each day, and you have a Friday and Saturday. And It's hooked right up to the Marriott. So if you want to, stay right there, they also have lots of packages. Like even me, because I've tried the media pass and that, and the Lancaster Barn Burner group is a tight group, and it's just hard to get in there. So
yeah, people are either like real nice about it and they just give them to you, or it turns into a whole hassle.
I don't have anything negative. They've never been negative to me or turned me down. They've never responded. Just from what I understand, to get in with that Lancaster Barn Burner group, which is August Burns Red, Texas July, all those bands that came out of that area, and you just got to know the right people, and we're still working our way in there. But I buy the package. I bought the hotel ticket package. It was dirt cheap, and what I paid for the package, I don't even think I could have got a hotel room for that. So I was happy as could. But Christmas Burns Red 5, American Mosh Pit filming event. We will be there. Lots of cameramen in the pit.
Woo.
That's so fun.
Something to look forward to.
I have to ask.
Yes.
With the referee.
Yeah.
What are your official rules?
So here's my rules. When I look at a pit, do what you want to do. You want a hardcore dance, you bought a ticket. Hardcore dance. You want a push pit, you bought a ticket. You want a push pit. We all have to get along with that, right? So if I see you and you're getting on the push pit guys because you're getting pissed off, they're pushing him and you, then we're going to talk to you and say, listen, man, everybody's here, right? We all got to do it together. And if you're the other thing, that don't be drunk in the pit, okay? We all like to drink and have a good time. But the drunk guy in the pit usually gets hurt. I'm just telling you right now, drunk in the pit is the worst. He is the worst. So if you're going to get drunk, stay in the bar.
What's one of the wildest people that you have seen in the pit, like, that you had to get out?
Okay, so we were in January, HMAC in Harrisburg, right? And we were at Vale of Maya was the headliner. And there was this big dude in these country overalls, right? And he was just there to get drunk and fight. It was just, you could tell that from the very beginning. So throughout the night, everybody's watching him. He's trying to get people to fight, all this stuff, right? So finally, he just there's crowd killing, and then there's straight punching people, right? And this dude just straight punches this guy. All of a sudden, and this is how the pit polices the pit, right? All of a sudden, like 6, 7 guys, boom, take this guy. He's trying to get away. They lift him up like they're in the army and just carry him right out. And, that was one of the last times I would say I saw people get ejected. Now, you know what? I lied to you. Gideon and Atlantic City on St. Patty's Day was a war. And people...
Oh, St. Patty's Day? You know that?
Yeah, it was a Saturday that they did St. Patty's Day in Atlantic City. So everybody's there for the parade. Everybody's freaking at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we go down for this show. And that was the night I interviewed Gideon. And, I just saw from the beginning. I was like, this is going to be wild, right? Everybody's getting hammered, right? So finally, the one thing that was surprising was the hall held about 500 people, but it was only like halfway full. It was probably only about 250 people there. But every time anyone got bumped into, they was fighting. It was just... Every little bump was a fight. I think that night, in a matter of 3 hours, I saw at least 10 fights. And I'm not supporting that. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But this is why we don't need to drink in the mosh pit, stay in the bar. But, man, that was probably... People were getting ejected left and right out of that dude. So, and we're going back to Gideon Sunday. Yeah, maybe it'll be wild in Baltimore.
Oh, that's so fun.
Make sure you go to a Gideon show, folks. It's wild times.
So do you feel that now that you kind of like know each area, do you feel that it kind of, the energy of the pit is different in different regions? Absolutely. What would you say
I will say this. I saw an interview with Jonathan Davis back in the early 2000s. And this is after Korn is now a worldwide star. And they said, Jonathan, where's the wildest, hardest pits? And they were like East Coast, Philadelphia, New York. They were like, that's the hardest, right? Well, that's what I grew up in. That's where all the pits I've been going my whole life was those pits, right? So I just thought it was kind of normal. I never thought it was violent. I just thought this is what mosh pits were. When my son and I started traveling and going to like Ohio and Virginia and all these different places, we realized it was a lot different in Philadelphia and in our mid-Atlantic region than it is when we're other place out there. So you want a pit for real, come to Philly and the mid-Atlantic. We'll show you how it's done.
Absolutely.
I do think it's great that Philly is known for our mosh pits.
Jonathan Davis is not the only person that said that. There is other artists that have been asked the same question, and they say all the time, look, Lamb of God, Philadelphia, right? Why did they choose that from all their shows? Because that was the one. The energy was through the roof. So it's hard to beat.
Florida. I heard
Philly
Florida
has a great
too.
music scene. We have
What's that?
I heard Florida has a pretty intense.
So we have a very good friend of American Mosh Pits. His name's Billy Wright, and he runs Cogs of War down in Florida, which is a huge mosh group. And you can follow them. They do shows weekly from Florida.
What's their name?
Cogs of War, Midlife Mosh Sessions, and Billy Wright. And Billy would be happy. I'll just put a plug in for him. Love you, Billy.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I've got a whole paper file. I always make sure to have a piece of paper so that I can like write down any interesting things that anybody says.
Now, I have to give you one disappointing news. You ready?
What?
We will not be at Summer Slaughter because we will be at Slipknot Knock Loose that night.
Okay.
So I think that's acceptable.
Yeah, you get a pass.
Sure,
Yeah. So if anybody's not going to Summer Slaughter, that same night at Camden, New Jersey, is Slipknot Knock Loose.
Now you did mention Love Drafts, but what are some other venues that you guys love to do?
She was 100% correct. Baltimore Soundstage and Power Plant Live are unbelievable places. Love both of them. That's where we'll be Sunday, is at Soundstage. And Love Drafts, I really love. Franklin Music Hall is probably one of my favorite places in the United States of America to see a show. I've watched that place change from what it was in the early 90s to what it is now. And to be honest, they didn't change a whole lot. They just made better electronics, better acoustics. But that room and that hall is the way it's been since the beginning of history, folks. And Sonic Temple. This year was the first year I went to Sonic Temple. I typically went to Incarceration.
By any chance, did you see TX2?
No, I did not. I saw all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then I had to roll out because my son had to be back to work Sunday night. So we had to roll out early. But the temperature was great. There was no dirt. It was all either pavement or turf. So you didn't have all this dirt all over you. And I will absolutely be going back to Sonic Temple.
I heard that it was a really nice experience this year.
I enjoyed it tremendously from the time I got there to the time I left. The only bad experience we had, one of our cameramen got the phone stolen like the rest of the people. But, I mean, there's a big thing going on, people stealing phones at the festival. So,
He doesn't find my phone app?
So here's the deal. There's this whole phone ring theft, and it's not just metal festival, it's all music festivals. And these people come in, and they come in these groups, and they steal all these phones, and then they ship them all to the same place in Florida, and then they ship them to China. And there's nothing the police can do. There's nothing nobody can do about it.
I know quite a few people that have lost their cameras, too.
Yeah, and we gave them that, like you said, we had the thing. Here's the phone's address. Here's where it is. They're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. So zipper pocket shorts, people, wear them when you're at the festival. Zipper pocket shorts.
I was just saying to one of my friends, I'm like, he's constantly dropping his wallet all the time. I mean, like, in his car, wherever. I'm like, dude, you need to go back to the chain wallets.
Time out. That's right here. We are going to plug some clothing next. So, oh shit. I got you.
Bring down the house.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I use Eagle Golf Shorts is the company that I specifically use. Eagle Golf Shorts gives you a zipper on each side pocket and zipper on your wallet pocket. So
Nice.
you can body surf, you can mosh, you can do whatever you do. You ain't gonna lose your phone. You ain't gonna lose.
Do you have
your
links for that up?
I do not have a link for it up.
And
Eagle.
what is it?
Eagle, EAGLE, Eagle Golf.
Eagle Golf
is the ones I use. GOLF. And I have successfully lost nothing since started wearing Eagle Golf shorts years ago.
That's good to know because my son, like, he drops everything too.
Eagle Golf. Also, Wrangler makes zipper pot, and they're dry fit. These are dry fit shorts too, by the way.
I was suggesting the chain link. I was like, dude, you need to go old school and get like one of those like heavy duty chain link.
I remember when you were allowed to bring those in. I highly doubt you're even getting those into the day shows, but I remember the 90s.
You know what? I have noticed they've been really lenient with me. And I just want to say thank you to all the doormen that I've got to deal with.
Absolutely.
Like, they let me in with like all sort. Like I usually have a lot of metal. Jesse, I know you know this too. You usually wear a lot of metal. Like they don't really give me a hard time.
Now, is this going in as a fan or going in as media?
Going in as a fan, like just.
And you don't get a hard time.
Believe it or not, I try.
What venue are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what I want to know because I'm getting searched like we're going to prison.
The only venue that was a little tougher was HMAC.
The Fillmore once led to like cavity search me every time I go in there.
Can we? You asked me my favorite venues. Can I comment on my not favorite venues too?
Oh,
are we
yeah,
allowed to do that?
Go for it.
Okay. I do not like going to the Chesapeake Employers Arena in Baltimore. It is on the UMBC, which is a great arena. It holds 6,000 people. Yeah. They get your band. I just saw a Day to Remember there.
They cavity search you?
You can't bring in a vape. You can't bring in a lighter. You can't go outside to smoke. Once you come in.
And what's this about like all these places with the no re-entry? Like
what I said, wait, I'm 40-some years old. I can't bring a vape in my pocket in the fucking place. Get out of here. I mean, I can understand if it was a kid, but I mean, come on, y'all, serious. But
yeah, and the re-entry places that you have the wristband, it's like, why are
no go. Once you go in, you are in, and you ain't coming out. And if you come out, you ain't going back in. So
yeah, like I don't know. I'm not good with venues like that usually.
Me neither. I'm telling you, I will avoid Chesapeake Employers Insurance.
I don't feel like I could do a festival. Like I couldn't do like one of Nick's shows without being able to bring anything in with me like that.
I don't feel that festival is as tight as club shows. How about that? I can come bring a lot more stuff in a festival than I can in a club show. And does that make me feel safe? I don't know, but I can just tell you that going to both, you can definitely bring a lot more stuff in with
I have my special like purse for when I go to the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Like I've got a clear bag that's like the exact size that I can bring in, like the whole 9 yards. So
I personally like the Freedom Mortgage. A lot of people talk shit on it. A lot of people don't like it. But I personally have not had a bad experience with it.
You know what? I grew up going to the Ozfest there at Mayhem and all those things. And you know what? Like, I feel so comfortable there. Yeah. Like, even if I'm in the back in general admission, like, I just always have a great time.
I typically always end up in the field. I feel it's the best people, it's the best crowd, and I have the best time in the field at the Freedom One.
Very few, like Corn.
Yeah,
we were third row, so like I was like, dude, I'm not gonna fight that.
Yeah,
but, the only ones that we bought tickets, like actual tickets for, I think this year would be Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan. But
I bet the Avril Lavigne show is going to be sold out. That is
I really should have thought it through for Snoop Dogg. We had got seats, and I really wish we had been back in the field because
that's where the party's going to be. All the rowdies are going to be in the field.
Yeah, they were like literally having a great time.
Oh, absolutely. Did you see Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa. It was fun.
I saw him at Lollapalooza, I believe it was 97 or 96. And it was
there?
No, you know that headliner was Tool. I remember that.
Oh,
and
that would be fun.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, Tool. Man, that's a long time ago. Those are the only two I can 100%.
You know what? Snoop is just one of those performers. He's just chilling. Like, I mean, he's just rolling with it, having a good time on stage, and you can tell. Like,
well, think of this. Snoop is not only having a good time on stage, he's having a good time with life, right? You're taking a guy who literally came from Section 8. That's how he grew up. And now my man is a millionaire, right? And
he's friends with him.
He's what? In his late 40s, 50s? Yeah. And I mean, he's chilling. He gets to do whatever he wants. I mean, that is good for him. He worked his ass off and he got to where he needed to be. So I told him,
the only time I was a little questionable was when he was doing the whole like he was calling himself something lion.
Snoop.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. That was kind of weird.
That was a little weird. But I'm glad he came back to the dog pound.
And I will absolutely plug Snoop Dogg Labs. If you want some good weed, Snoop Dogg Labs got you covered. So hit your dispensaries, ask for Snoop Dogg Labs. Specifically the Blue Dream and the Green Crack.
Moshpits.
Well, we are, out there hanging out, having a good time. So there you go. But yeah, I would absolutely go to another Snoop show. Hey, we just shot Cypress Hill at Sonic Temple. You can see the whole Cypress Hill.
They're so great.
What's that? They were.
Did you guys start a pit for them?
The crowd would not get going. We tried multiple times, and they just would not. Sometimes it's like that. Like, I'll tell you another time it was like that.
You just should have had a blunt and been running with the blunt in a circle.
And we looked back, like, when we, as American Moshpits, right, and we have a meeting and we say, okay, this event's on our calendar. There's 30 bands here. We're not going to film them all. It's not going to happen, right? So let's make our plan what we're going to do. We watch footage on bands that we question of whether we should film the set or not. We'll watch footage from sets in the past. We watched a lot of Cypress Hill footage, and we saw a lot of pits. You know what we could not get going at Sonic Temple? A freaking pit to save our life. I don't know what the problem was with those guys. But
you should have just had somebody run with a blunt in a
that would have been a better plan, because I'm telling you, it's just nobody would do. Everybody was having a good time and they were doing.
You hit up Eric and you're like, Eric, where's the Black Craft smoke?
Right now, Eric, we need it.
They have all the cool like smoking things. I would be just running in circles. Like,
I'm telling you, it was very. You know where else was odd? We were just at Love Dress for the I Set the Kill show, and it was the
they were so good. I just saw them too.
And it's the same thing. We just could not get people. Like, people will watch the shows, but couldn't get any pits going. We just were putting around, and they just didn't. Sometimes you do that, and you just gotta accept it. Because you don't want to be the asshole, right? Because we're media. It's gonna be easy for somebody to say they're the assholes, tear them apart, and whether they're gonna do it online or whatever. But so we get to a point where we're like, all right, you know what? It's just these people just ain't into it, whatever. Believe it or not, we go places and people don't like us. We have been to events where people are like, we don't like you. We don't like what you. What's that?
What's on this hat?
This is a tribute to the first tape I bought, Misfits. So I just Want to throw a little Misfits tribute out there and just give them a little love. But you know, it's odd because we have so much love. When we go somewhere, people look at us and face and say we don't like you. It's just really weird. We don't. It's just hard to fathom sometimes. So.
Hey, you haven't made it unless you have people that don't like you.
Haters, you gotta have
I
haters.
actually encourage it at this point because I'm like trying to get to 5K on my TikTok.
Okay.
So I've been just doing like I just pull up whatever is trending and just give it my own feel. Well, not everything that's trending has really my vibe to it. So some are just not that great.
Can I tell
some
you
of the funniest comments, and I'll write them back and be like, "Thank you so much for giving me that criticism, so that I can produce better TikToks for your satisfaction." Like,
our life is so much better now that you commented.
I can sleep tonight. Thank you.
This is the biggest advice I'll give you. We were able to grow from 22,000 to 90,000 in 6 months. And the way we were able to do that, one of the main things is you hit it in the very beginning. Interact. Your people want to interact with you. And that, I tell you, when you start interacting with the people, they're going to follow, and that's how you grow. Bottom line.
I've been trying really hard, and I tried, like, before
Absolutely.
I used to just put out the same stuff on all of my social media.
Yeah.
Over the last year, I've been trying to put different stuff on each of my social media. That way people want to look at it. And
Absolutely.
it's the same thing on everything. Like, I feel like people
will do the same thing.
They're not going to like it on another.
We have different cuts on Facebook that we'll have on Instagram that we'll have on TikTok. So we do the exact same thing. And there's some cuts, and if we see that, you know, we put it in one place and it's getting a lot of love, then maybe we'll share it over to the other ones. But, you know, there's certain people that they only like one platform or another, okay? And that's cool. So what we want to do is give them something unique for their platform.
I'm a switcher. Like, I'll go months on one thing, and then I'll get, like, sucked into another one. Right now, I'm big on TikTok just because I'm trying to hit that 5K, because then I can, like, 1,000 to have your own TikTok shop, but it's 5,000 in order to sell stuff in other people's shops.
Yeah.
So I would love to get to 5K so that way I can sell the band's merch out of their shops.
This is one thing
I'm a merch queen and I love it.
Here's another thing I'll say. When me and David, and we would spend countless sleepless nights focusing on the numbers, right? And it seemed like when we just did what we do, and let's say we went out to be American Moshpits, then the numbers followed, and we didn't have to worry about the numbers.
I definitely noticed that, because in the beginning,
you see the way, right? So the best advice I could give anybody that's trying to grow any type of social media platform is, man, don't get wrapped up in focusing on the numbers, man. Just remember that people are following you because you have a talent, or you have a skill, or you have this special thing that people want to see, and that's why they're going to follow you. And if you get wrapped up in the numbers, that special thing is going to get lost a little bit. So don't lose your special thing and stay focused on it.
I got my secret weapon, Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
There I am.
You're going to go crowd kill them if they mess with you.
Yeah,
so
right?
be careful. I know. Look, show them off, Jesse. Let's see them.
Jesse throws out those comments, like, over the last couple shows. We had some, like, really, like, detailed comments to Jesse, like, I love your conversation, blah, 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 blah. It's great.
Now, Jesse, you go out to do you go out to all the shows with her? You guys go out together?
We kind of split them up because there's so many.
Yeah. We also, like, Allie likes a lot of, like, this like stuff more in her regional area.
You can say it, Jesse. I like the lighter punk style.
He likes a lot of more, like, new metal. I like a lot. I go to a lot of, like
Hardcore.
I used to go to a lot of hardcore shows. But I really like grind, and like I'm in a porno grind. Well, technically it started off as a porno grind band, but it's going to gore grind.
Okay.
Is the direction we're going in. So I go to a lot of like grind and
Hey, time out. Time out. What did you just say? Porno grind?
Yeah.
Let me write this down.
She's got so much. She knows all the terms.
Listen, that's what I've heard. So I'm going to write that down, and I have
Go ahead, Jesse. Tell us all about porno.
Tell us about porno grind. I'm all ears.
I can tell you about porno grind. It's like I think what it started in like the 90s. You know what grindcore is? You know grindcore, right? Like grind. Okay. So
wait, Sans Sukabog, would that be considered grindcore?
Sanguisugabog they're like a mix of like hardcore and extreme death metal. I think they have some grind elements though. I've seen them a bunch of times. They also tour with a lot of hardcore bands because they do have like a hardcore adjacent. I've seen them but they have songs that are more like extreme death metal-y too. Like Tortured Whole was a good album in general, but you could kind of split it up to like things with more like hardcore influences, and they'll play those. Like I saw them with Acacia Strain, and they played more of their hardcore stuff on that one. But I've seen them on death metal bills, and they'll play more of their death metal stuff on there. But porno grind is like a
porno grind. Let's go.
It's a subgenre of grindcore where there's a million subgenres of grindcore. It's like one of the big ones with grind.
Can you give us 2 examples of bands that would be porno grind?
Cock and Ball Torture is a like
sounds like porno grind.
Yeah. They're like the big one that like I grew up like, and everybody was like you got to listen to this band. I think with genres like that, it's like
are their songs really sexy? Like, is it
hardcore? Well, there's like some people don't like it because it's a lot of like it's a lot of like clips of porn and a lot.
But if you're going to a live show, if you're going to a live porno.
Wait, is there porn like on the screen, like behind?
Like, what is a porno grind show like?
A porno grind show would be a lot of just gurgling vocals and a bunch of people there that are just like, this is good.
So is it like a soundtrack to a porno?
It is like, no, they will have like a soundtrack to a porno playing. It sounds like, do you know what grindcore is? Like, like, Allie?
Kind of.
Okay, grindcore sounds like a fucking blender.
Yeah, it's something else.
It borders like if you push it, like grindcore is like it's a subgenre of punk actually. So like you have like it.
Would you really say?
I feel like I would like it. I feel like
grindcore is more of a subculture of. I don't know about punk, but I don't know.
It's a subgenre of punk.
What's that? Okay.
Because it has a D beat to it. I looked this up.
What's the definition
of the conversation? Grindcore is a subgenre. Grindcore is a subgenre of punk. I've done this research. Yes, because it has.
That's very interesting.
It's like the flushed out bits of D beat.
That is crazy,
isn't it?
Yeah, I never played.
The only TV I know is domestic violence. So what's TV in music terms?
They sped up the D beat to make it a blast beat. Like they skipped the beat in like a D beat from punk. They skipped the beat to make it a blast beat, and so grindcore is a subgenre of punk technically.
Wow.
But
I want to know that whole section,
like, is it like the soundtrack of like a
that whole section? Our producer is already marking down to make into a remix. Jesse is
here. And did everybody notice I'm wearing the Misfits hat as we're talking about subcontracts, subgenres of punk here? It's amazing. Go big.
Well, We can blur out the part where I just handed him my
That's
GoPro.
what I'm writing. That's what I'm writing on this show. Find out when we talk about Misfits and porno grind.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's sexy. I would say it sounds more like
sexy growling.
No, not sexy growling.
Maybe
it sounds like
sexy if you're a serial murderer or something.
Yeah,
but
it's more on the serial murder-esque of it.
I can imagine.
It's like
FBI is there going through the crowd looking for one people. It's crazy.
It will be like 10 seconds of like a woman moaning, and then just like the sound clip bit of somebody being murdered and tortured, and then like vocals that sound like a toilet flushing. It would be poor.
If you are a porno core band, American Moshpits need your concert bill. Please send it to me. We will send a camera crew there, guaranteed.
We will send the camera crew to the basement that they
Absolutely. Yeah, you send us the invite, we will be there. What's that?
This is a special request of cock and ball torture.
Yeah, you send us, we'll be there with the cameras. This is too wild to not. So
what are some of the other names? Because that was a really festive name.
I'm trying to think. Like my favorite grind, like right now. I really like Noisy Neighbors. They're really good. I really like their sound bits they have in the beginning. My favorite grind band is called Wormrot. They're from Thailand.
Wormrot?
Are they from Singapore?
Rocker? Did you say Worm Rocker?
Yeah, they're from Singapore. And I got my fact checker in the back. I like grindcore a lot because when I was in middle school, we all used to just send each other like it was like how out of control you could send like somebody something, you know? Like it would be, I was just listening to another podcast, shout out Heavy Hole Podcast, where one of the guys was talking about how he got into grind because his friend sent him a band called Torso Fucked. And just because he was like, hey, like you
gotta these band names, man.
Check this out.
I thought Cannibal Corpse shirts were unreal. This is even better.
It's a sliding scale of like being
debauchery. It sounds like
and it really hits the 12-year-old brain in the right places where you're like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen.
Absolutely, it's kind of like watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you're 10 years old.
Yeah,
I was probably purebred over here listening to Korn. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? You're like, I gotta get in and check this out.
I gotta shout out the Philly grind bands. One shout out to IBS, our band, and then Charcuterie. They're sick. Sorry, Charcuterie. I miss your set every time. Who else do we got in Philly? Aroma.
Is Aroma? Is that a porno grind?
That is they're gore grind, aren't they? Yeah, they're gore grind.
Wait, are these Philly bands?
These are all Philly grind bands. We don't have a ton, but we are mighty.
Okay. Send us an invite. We will be there. This is just
so yeah, definitely. And then my favorite
one of the best parts of being an American Moshpits, right? You get in some of these conversations and people start telling you, and you're like, I got to see this with my own eyes. Please send us an invite. We got to see this.
You never know what you might get at a porno grind show.
I understand. It's like a car wreck, right? You just got to
be a really fun mosh pit.
Right.
You might not be able to put it on social media, but I'm sure it would be interesting.
Hey, get over. No underage at this one.
It's a lot of noise. I feel like, you know, but yeah, that's the kind of shit I like. So me and Allie, we separate in that because she gets like the bands that make actual music most of the time, and then like this sounds like sick, sounds awesome. I'm more on that side of
Moaning and toilet flushing.
I'm on toilet flushing, and then I'm on a lot of I really like epic heavy metal too and stuff like that, but I like noise. I feel like that leans on the more grind side, and I like a lot of experimental like black metal and stuff like that. And we've had some great Philly bands on here too. Shout out.
You feel all this is subgenre of metalcore starting it in the early 2000s?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. The metalcore is having a renaissance on its own. Like, metalcore is having like a renaissance of its own. Like, it's having a huge comeback. Like, there's bands like Veil of Maya and like bands like Mazes, bands like just like really what was that band Harriet or whatever doing like really cool stuff.
I have to ask you though, you say metalcore is making a comeback.
Yeah.
I don't see where it ever stopped. I don't see where they have the dick to go back up.
I feel like that it got snuffed out a lot by the bands like Snuffed on Sight, like Gate Creeper, like the what are they called? What are they called? The bands that are the mix of the hardcore and the extreme and the death metal bands. What are the people calling them?
Deathcore.
Crossover bands. The crossover bands of like Gate Creeper and stuff like that. They had a stranglehold because they had the GD riffs or like the caveman riffs, and they had like it was very catchy. All like everybody I know was hooked on like Snuffed on Sight, Gate Creeper. Me too. I love those bands. They had catchy riffs. They really brought back the old school sound or were able to capture like the old school sound of like the like Florida metal with the added elements of the catchy like hardcore elements to it, and they were sick, and I think they had a stranglehold on the music scene for like a good period of time. But I feel like that's phasing out and people are becoming more nostalgic for the stuff that they grew up with, and that they're kind of falling off from that, going towards things like metalcore or a lot of the like cores because they were bigger in the early 2000s. And now I feel like some of those bands that I was talking about earlier, like Gate Creeper, are changing their sound to sound more in line with that. I feel like Gate Creeper has changed.
It's funny you say that because I can remember seeing Gate Creeper with Hatebreed in the early two.
Yeah.
What's that?
That wasn't too long ago. That was like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah. And hold on, I remember seeing them early on the tour, and they had, as you said, their sound has changed, right? Because earlier on, when they were with Hatebreed, it was like a really straight hardcore kind of sound.
They were straight, like they were a straight crossover band. They were like leading the crossover of
I agree.
hardcore, yeah.
Yeah, because I would say, like you said, 3-4 years ago when they were on a tour with them, it was a totally different sound. Totally different. And it was weird because the bands they were with, Hatebreed was still headlining that second tour, but they didn't fit as much with the bands as they used to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't fit. I've seen Gate Creeper in church basements, and I've seen Gate Creeper like 5 or 6 times, and I think that some of the new music's catchy, and like I'm like, oh yeah, like that's whatever. But I feel like they're going for a more commercial sound. So they were signed to Relapse, and I think they're no longer signed with Relapse. I think they're signed with what Epitaph now. I'm looking at you for confirmation, but I don't know. They're signed with Epitaph now, maybe, or Roadrunner, or one of those. No.
I think they're on. I'm not going to comment. I would say Roadrunner would be my guess.
Yeah. I just like it's interesting that they did that. That they changed their sound so much.
I agree.
But I think it has a lot to do with the bands they're touring, and they almost have a more sweet, like they have a more like Swedish clean sound with a lot of their guitars now, versus where they had a lot of distortion prior to that.
You know, another one that I saw early on, like I saw these guys back in Warped Tour back in like 12, 13, and saw a few shows over the years, is As I Lay Dying. I feel like there's another one that the sound...
They changed their sound a lot.
Totally changed. Totally changed from who they were in the beginning to where they are now. Totally different.
Now, did you like them better before, or do you like them better now?
I like both, because I saw As I Lay Dying for $10 back in the day, you know, with 20 people. So their sound back then was groundbreaking.
I actually agree with you. I feel the same way.
Yeah, and I felt like when the new albums came out and the new sound, and like I saw the what was it, Born by Fire tour when Tim made his comeback from coming out of prison and all that, and I felt the new songs were just as good as the old songs. I didn't feel like there was a difference in. I know a lot of people choose not to support them now for different things, but I try not to get into all that stuff. I'm just here for the music, I'm here for the Moshpits, and I try not to get into all that other stuff. So.
Well, before we let you go, I have a couple more things that I wanted to talk about.
I'm ready.
So, what is the biggest misconception that you hear about Moshpits?
Biggest mix, I'll tell you right off the bat. It's that all Moshpit people are dumb druggies living in their parents' basements. So we see literally thousands of comments a day, literally.
All you wanted was cookies?
What's that?
I was just like, all he wanted was cookies. I'm wondering.
Yeah. And when we see these thousands of comments a day, 70% of them are negative. I mean, social media lives and breathes off negativity. That's what it is, right? So you have to understand that if you're going to get involved with that negativity is coming. So
You gotta have a thick skin.
It's mind-blowing that America is still in this mindset that the only people at mosh pits are these drugged out crazy people. And I got news for you people. I've met scientists and PhDs and surgeons in the mosh pits. Okay, there's a lot of people that are enjoying this music and enjoying this ability to go to these shows and get out their stuff that's in them and have a good time, and that is probably one of the most misconceptions that I see almost daily.
Now, what is some advice that you would give someone if they were coming and this was their first time ever attending an event with American Moshpits?
We get this question, and we give the same answer every single time. Watch footage of the band that you're going to see before you go. Watch live footage, not a music video. Go on YouTube, pull up some concerts, watch that. If you don't feel that's something you want to be involved with, then you probably shouldn't go. Because if you watch 5 videos and they're all the same, that's probably what's going to happen when you get there. Okay. So if that's not what you're feeling, yeah, don't go there. But it blows your mind the amount of people that you'll meet and be like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I'm like, there's 8 billion videos on YouTube. What the hell do you mean you don't have it? You live in a what's going on here? So yeah, big advice, watch, research before you buy the ticket.
And last question, and then we'll let you go because we've kept you on for a while.
Sure.
What is the future of American Moshpits look like?
So we actually just had a meeting about all this. It's so funny. Our goal, David and our goal is to continue to grow American Moshpits and get it to a point where we're a full media company. with shows and constant media and news and all these things, so we can be the people that you go to for all your information needed for heavy metal news. So that's where we're headed. That's the direction we're headed. And we got some really cool things in the hopper we're working on, and you'll see them coming out soon.
And again, everybody go under like
and follow,
because they love getting the comments. Try to keep it positive though.
and, hey, and you never know. As long as you like, we say one thing at our meetings when we talk to our staff. We say, you know what? The late great Dale Earnhardt, he sat with a young Jeff Gordon in the early '90s, and he said, "Young man, when you get on that stage and they announce your name, whether they are booing or cheering, it's when the crowd is silent. You better start worrying about your career." So there you go. That's the way we look at it.
Power to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Can we get thumbs up for American Moshpits? Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. Please like and follow us, and we'll see you at a live event.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, so fun. I feel like I could literally sit here and just shoot the shit with Vin all night, but
Right.
since I can feel the looks from our producer.
Yeah, I know. I'm sweating that I'm still going to be on here when my delivery gets here.
So thank you, everyone that tuned in tonight. Again, go like American Moshpits. Please make sure to comment under their posts because they love to answer you, and very interactive and just an altogether fun organization.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.